Welcome to the highlights of the second day of the 5th Cornhill Test at Old Trafford. A great day yesterday, great for excitement anyway, and very much Australia's day, with England finishing up at 175 for 9. Today, conditions very much better than yesterday. Quite a cloud cover around, but there was the promise of that breaking, and plenty of blue sky was forecast for later in the day, and that should have been to the advantage of the side batting, and the Australians could well have expected that would refer to them very, very quickly. Just one more wicket to take, and that shouldn't provide too much trouble, or should it? We've seen so many strange things happen in this series to date. Nothing is impossible, I promise you. Well, here's the second over of the morning, and it's young Michael Whitney coming into bowl to Paul Allott, who is 9 not out overnight. 3 runs have been added, 178 for 9 it is now. And in the commentary box, Tom Graveney and Jim Laker.
And in trouble here, I would think. Oh, what a terrible throw. Oh, he's got 5. I think that's possibly about the worst throw I've seen in a test match for years. He wasn't within 10 yards of that. Oh, let's liven Old Trafford up. Whitney's still in action. Oh, it's a lovely shot. Right out of the book. Perfect illustration of the leg glance, giving Rodney Marsh no chance at all as it raced away for 4 more. So Hughes moving over from mid-off to mid-on as Allott faces Lilly. That's a good looking shot, and that brings up 200. That only brings 200 up, but it gives Paul Allott his highest score in first class cricket. And that's quite a performance to come into a test match and make your best ever score at number 10 when your side are in trouble. That's a cracking shot. And that will probably give Bob Willis more enjoyment than taking 5 wickets. Oh, almost a smile hovering around Mike Brealey's face there now. And good reason, because these late order of batsmen once again have done him proud.
And that's a very good shot indeed. It really is a classic square cut, and a great effort by Welham, but an unsuccessful one. Well, I don't know if Lancashire knew that this boy was a batsman, but there's no doubt that he is.
This is a magnificent square cut. Not a very intelligent piece of bowling, mind you, but he did well to reach that too. And he crashed it square.
Oh. And there is the 50 partnership. That wasn't quite such a good shot, but he got a little bottom edge on it, and it is 4 runs over the top of the stumps. 227 for 9, and now the highest stand of the innings. Oh, he's done it again. Would you believe it? Paul Allott has made 50 in his first test match, and the crowd rise to salute a new hero of Old Trafford. That could be the end of it. Hughes underneath it. Yes, Willis holding out for 11, and England all out for 231. So a last wicket stand of 56.
And I did say nothing was impossible, and it certainly wasn't. 52 not out for Paul Allott, his highest score in first-class cricket. What a way to do it in your first test match. And apart from anything else, I thought he played very well. He played straight, played some handsome strokes, and showed a good defence as well. Bob Willis gave him good support. No one pretends, least of all Willis, that he's a good batsman, but those 11 runs and the partnership of 56 for the last wicket, absolutely priceless to England, to give them 231. And what a memory for Paul Allott. That's the way he scored his runs, that highest score in first-class cricket, 52 not out. And look at the preponderance of runs when he was batting at this Stretford end. That's the one at the bottom of that card drawn up by our scorer Wendy Wimbush. He scored a lot of runs side in front of and just behind point, and on the leg side between backward square and down to fine leg. Not much at the other end when he was facing that old campaigner Dennis Lillee, who finished up taking 4 for 55 in 24.1 overs and 8 maidens. Terry Alderman, who yesterday broke Lillee's wicket-taking record in Test series in England, finished with 4 for 88, but very surprising. He wasn't used this morning until late. I just can't see any reason for him not to come on and open the bowling with Lillee this morning. Whitney, 2 for 50, did very, very well in his first test. He's a young lad who's played just a few games for New South Wales, but he'll do much more in the international field before he's finished. He may have been a surprise choice, but he certainly bowled well. Right, well, the Australians 231 in arrears when they started, and plenty of fireworks in store in the session up to lunch. Here's the first over. Bob Willis has taken the new ball for England. Graham Wood is taking strike, and in the commentary box with Peter Parfitt is Christopher Martin-Jenkins.
Well, there was the invitation to hook, and Wood accepted, and that was nowhere near fine leg. It was beautifully played in front of square. A very solid stroke indeed. And that's 4 more, and I don't think this man, it's gone indeed for 6. It was beautifully picked up by Graham Wood.
And what a great start for Bob Willis, and for England, John Dyson goes without scoring. And England have broken through, trying to fend it away there on the offside. And a very neat catch. That's one of the more unorthodox strokes of the morning, and you can throw in any of the ones played by Paul Allott and Bob Willis. It gets Kim Hughes off the mark, so it'll be a great relief for him. Oh, that's out. That is plumb. 2 wickets in the 1 over. Bob Willis, after Graham Wood hit him for 4 and 6 in his first over. His 100th wicket against Australia was the one that took Dyson, and now Hughes has gone. 24 for 2. Yes, I think it's held up, and he's gone. Yallop doesn't want to go. He thinks it hit the ground before it was caught, but it's held up by Botham. That slip, umpire Constant gives him. And 3 wickets in and over to Willis, that one from the last delivery. That's out. And Allott takes his first Test match wicket, 24 for 4 Australia, and the whole thing is in tatters. It's a loosener from Botham, and really loosened up by Kent. 53 for 4. Short run from Bob Willis. And runs there for Alan Border. Very firmly hit pull shot. Botham right arm around the wicket now to Border. What a catch! David Gower. A brilliant piece of fielding, that. One of the best catches you'll see in a year of cricket. The 5th Australian wicket goes down in the last over before lunch. Border caught Gower, bowled Botham 11. Kent remains 21 not out. And what a session. What a performance that was. 58 for 5. The Australians, they were 24 for 4 at one stage. At lunchtime, 58 for 5. And just 3 batsmen there into double figures. Wood, who was Allott's first Test match victim, and Border 11, Kent 21 not out. And what a performance. That really was almost as disastrous as Headingley and Edgbaston. Well, Bob Willis was the destroyer there. 3 wickets in the 1 over. Here he is now, straight away after lunch, coming into bowl to Rodney Marsh.
Bilateral thigh trainer system in February of this year. Out of the blue, the phone rings and she's on the other end going, "Mom, get..."
spectacular stroke by Rodney Marsh. He'll kick himself. Botham taking a simple catch. It was a sharp one. He made it look easy. Willis takes his 4th wicket, and Australia are 59 for 6. And Marsh first going to play a stroke, then deciding he'd take the bat away, and the result was that he just simply edged it straight to Botham. And Australia are in total disarray at 59 for 6. And that's an example of those lovely strokes he was playing before lunch. He's a marvellous player off the back foot, Martin Kent, used to the hard wickets at the Gabba at Brisbane, and beautifully struck. Pleasantly timed, and indeed 4 runs. Effortless stroke by Ray Bright. Doesn't have much of a backlift, but
yes, I think it's fair. It was a half volley, wasn't it? You know, and by every sense of the word and the game, clearly that is a ball that should be going for 4 with an attacking field.
and that's perfectly safe. Absolutely crash off the middle of the bat. Whether, as he played the shot, he was quite certain where it was going, I wouldn't be 100% certain. Kent, with that splendid shot, reaching a really fine 50 in all the circumstances, which has come in remarkably quick time. And indeed off only 43 balls, and that was his 7th 4. And bringing up the 100 in only the 20th over of the innings. That looks like 2 more. And he's gone, yes. Going to force that away with all his might through the covers. Possibly the one which carried straight on with the arm from Embry. We'll have to see it from another angle to decide on that, but a little edge and Allen not doing the rest. So Kent's splendid innings ending at 104, Australia 104 for 7. And that's another of the many milestones passed in this series. And has had the better of that in a slightly unorthodox way.
Drinks are ready to come out. Now with Derek Underwood on the right and Trevor Chappell on the left doing the job. Well bowled, and he got it away. In the end, it was the quicker ball from Embry. It was very well struck by Ray Bright, but it was that curving top spinner that goes a little bit with the arm. Willis is at deep backward square, but neither he nor Boycott will be able to save that. It's a well-judged stroke by Lilly. Spare to go past the 120 mark. That's a straightforward catch. You can't have anything more straightforward than that. To Graham Gooch behind square leg. Don't think Lilly could believe it for a moment. This really is Botham's half year, isn't it? He can do anything at the moment, whereas he couldn't do a thing early in the summer. Just comes on, rolls over his arm, and Lilly cracks it away behind square leg, and Graham Gooch didn't have to move a whisker. Lily caught Gooch, bowled both them 13.
And he's bowled him all over the place. Back goes a leg stump. Another success for Paul Ellett, so he's having a very good day. Undefeated 50 with a bat, and this is first test match, and now his second wicket. 126 for 9, the Australians tumble down to. And Whitney goes, as they say, without troubling the scorers. 126 for 9 as Alderman faces his first ball. Roared in by the crowd. And got an inside edge. Bob Willis will have to hurry. And out came the big right boot. And Alderman comes through for 2. Both McGinn to Bright. Bright now on 22. And he's gone. Little edge through to the keeper. Simple chance to Alan Knott, and Australia all out in dramatic style here for 130, giving England a lead of 101 runs here on first innings.
As I was walking around the back of the ground, someone said to me, how on earth are you going to describe that? The answer, I'm afraid, is that it's indescribable. Just one innings there over the 50 mark. A very good one, too, from Martin Kent, 52. Brighton Lilly, 22 and 13 down the bottom of the order. But I wonder what those England bowlers were thinking. They must reckon it's a pretty easy game. 30.2 overs they needed to bowl out the whole of Australia, with Willis taking 4 for 63, Ellett 2 for 17, Botham 3 for 28, and Embury 1 for 16. A very, very disappointing performance from the Australians, and there really wasn't very much in that pitch. Well, England started off their second innings 101 ahead. They added 2 more, and we're in the third over now, and Lilly is coming in to bowl to Graham Gooch. In the commentary box with Peter Parfitt is Jim Laker.
That's a lovely shot. Tickled away fine down the leg side. And Gooch very noticeably there, getting into position very quickly. And he's left the leg stump open and he's knocked it over. So Graham Gooch goes, bowled by Alderman. Alderman strikes again. And Gooch goes for 5. England losing the first wicket here in the second innings with just 7 on the board.
Jim Laker saying he didn't think Dennis Lilly had quite the same sharp edge at the moment as he has had in years gone past, and I think I agree with that. Still fine the blunt edge. Williams doing the chasing and will just catch it. Four runs, no third man. And that scoring pattern chart we showed you a little earlier would always indicate to me that for Tavare you'd need either a fourth slip and a very wide third man, or at very least a third man. Still plays quite straight with the angle bat.
Mike Braley in conversation there with 2 of the England selectors, Charlie Elliott on the left of your picture and John Edridge in the middle. And that sky behind the scorebox there doesn't look too welcoming, does it? But as long as it doesn't rain until 6:30, we should be happy. Two more to boycott. Hughes the field up. more like the boycott of old. Lilly off his short run, a nice friendly pace, and punched away on the offside off the back foot. Well, gone up rather nastily, but Tavri keeping it down well and bringing up the 50.
Shrewdly placed by Boycott, got into position quickly, put it away through mid-wicket, just get 3 for it. Very bright, bowling it in, saving the throw now. And again, this big crowd giving vent to their feelings. Their percentage of Manchester United supporters here today, looking up there and now applauding the 50 partnership. Also getting in good voice for the coming season across the road. With Alderman coming back on. Having a crack now from this Stretford end, taking over from Whitney. It's a beautiful drive, off drive. Whitney giving chase, no chance of stopping it. Beautiful off drive from the bat of Chris Stollery there.
And with him at the close of play was Yorkshire's Geoffrey Boycott, 31 not out, and I suspect needing a few runs as well. Quite a solid performance from that pair. They didn't play it, miss it very much at all, and it was a good, sound performance that's taken them on to a lead of 171, and that is quite a formidable one, just the 1 wicket down, that of Graham Gooch in the second innings. Well, the Australians will feel very, very desperate at the moment. It hasn't been their day at all, whereas the first day was very much theirs. Today, that partnership between Allott and Willis absolutely destroyed them this morning, as indeed the one between Botham and Dilley did at the tail at the Headingley Test match. They really can't get through the bottom of the England order, and it's costing them dear. Their batting today was very, very poor. It's one of the worst batting displays I've seen, and that's saying something when we think about Edgbaston. The bowlers have a tremendous task in front of them to contain the England batsmen, and that England team, they really must be wondering what this game is all about. And 2 of them in particular today, worthy of mention at the close of our programme. Paul Allott, who later was to take his first Test match wicket, finished up with a half-century in his first Test, and that's his highest score in first-class cricket. Tremendous performance from him, and the other man, Bob Willis, who wrecked the Australian innings with those 3 wickets in the 1 over.